It's been a few months since I've had any news to share with you about the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime, but thankfully with the release of Cour 3 on Blu-ray, we've had an all-new interview with Kubo and the anime staff, which I'm super excited to share with all of you. In addition to all of this, I've got some amazing news about 1000 Year Blood War Cour 4, as it's going to be making an appearance at Anime Expo with its very own panel. So definitely stick around until the very end of this video, as I'll be covering all of the latest news about Bleach. And there's also a major hint about a mysterious character that Kubo has teased that is going to appear in Cour 4, and this teaser may be revealing that we have more anime content in store for us after Cour 4 ends. So before I give everything away in the intro, let's dive into the video. Let's talk about these reports about Cour 4 appearing at Anime Expo. So the official Anime Expo page states that there's a panel announcement. Join us at Anime Expo for the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War panel. This is everything that you need to know. So there'll be giveaways for attendees at the door. There's announcements about the final part of the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime. We'll be getting exclusive content along with staff commentaries. There'll be prizes there too, and they say stay tuned for the end so you don't miss these special announcements. The panel name is Bleach 1000 Year Blood War panel, so it'll be LA time 4:45 PM to 5:35 PM. So the total runtime of the panel is 50 minutes. I really am hoping that at Anime Expo we're going to be getting a release date for Cour 4. Hopefully it'll be sometime in 2026 at the very latest. So with the panel taking place in July, it's been well over 6 months since Cour 3 has ended, so we can definitely expect a teaser trailer at the very minimum. This brings us perfectly to the 1000 Year Blood War Cour 3 Blu-ray interview. So this is a roundtable interview with the Bleach creator Tite Kubo with the series directors Tomohisa Taguchi and Hikaru Murata, who both work together as directors on Cour 3. So let's go over the various different questions that were asked to Kubo and the anime staff. So the first question is, the subtitle for Cour 3 is the conflict. The questioner asked, when you heard the word conflict or learned its meaning, what kind of scenes from Bleach had come to your mind? Kubo states when he heard the word conflict, he had thought that it must have been chosen with the relationship shown in the third cour in mind, namely Ichigo and Uryu and Hashward and Baz B. This is what had come to the mind of Kubo right away. They are then asked about the anime original scenes which appear within Cour 3, as the questioner states that there are many impactful anime original scenes, such as those between Ichigo and Uryu and Renji. What was the process behind deciding to depict those scenes? Taguchi states that at first, from the anime production side, they had brought up ideas in scenario meetings, saying things like, we'd like to do a scene like this. At that point, the proposal is still in a flexible state, something that hasn't been finalized and can still be revised. So they then present the idea to Kubo while it's still taking shape, and after that they discuss with him whether if those scenes should be included in the anime or not. Taguchi states that sometimes he is fortunate enough to meet with Kubo at the dubbing sessions, and during those moments he'll consult with him directly about a scene that they want to include. Taguchi states that if the anime staff were struggling to come up with an anime original scene, then they had brought forward the proposal to Kubo for him to take consideration and to expand upon the role of Uryu or other characters. Kubo states that when he is first approached with something like that, he usually asks, to what extent should I develop this idea? The director replies, let's try putting it into plot form first, and that's where the process begins. So after it reaches Kubo, he either adds to it, rewrites it, or refines it through back and forth discussions with the anime staff. Kubo says that when more precise direction is needed, he'll end up drawing a rough storyboard and hand it over to the anime team. The anime staff credit Kubo's designs for Uryu's techniques, stating that Kubo's visuals clearly conveyed how Uryu's abilities work, and it really helped them a lot to animate Uryu's abilities. So Kubo is asked how much rewriting did he end up doing for the proposals that the anime staff had given to him. Sometimes he would rewrite the entire thing into something completely different, and other times he would feel like this must be a scene that the director really wants to depict, since it is a detailed description, so we'll ask about the director's intentions and leave the scene mostly untouched. Taguchi also adds that this is why they asked Kubo to review everything down to the finest details. And on the other hand, when the anime staff rely only on written text from Kubo, there are times when the intended nuance might not come through, or it could be misinterpreted or misread. So having Kubo sketch things out and saying to the anime staff that this is the kind of feeling that they should be giving off really helps the anime staff a lot. Kubo then says that there are times when he thinks that I probably don't need to check this far, but deciding where to draw that line, what needs reviewing or what doesn't, is very tricky. So at this point in the process, Kubo states that he has decided to just check everything that comes his way. So the next question asks, with so many anime original scenes added in Cour 3, was it more difficult compared to Cour 1 or 2? Taguchi states that in TV anime production, a single cour is generally capped at 13 episodes. Both Cour 1 and 2 had followed that structure, each with 13 episodes, but Cour 3 ended up having 14 episodes for some reason, as he laughs. Just that one additional episode brought a significant increase in their workload. Normally, production is spread across the team in a rotating format. It's not like the same people work on every single episode in sequence. He adds that, for example, someone who worked on episode 1 might also be assigned to a scene in episode 3 and so on. It's structured so that production duties are balanced across the board. During Cour 1 and 2, each episode was assigned in turn, and by the time that they reached the final episode, episode 13, those who had some availability would pitch in and work on it, and we'd go all out for the final episode. But because Cour 3 had 14 episodes instead of 13, the anime staff suddenly had to figure out who's going to handle episode 14. How do we assign staff for it? Taguchi says that this wasn't something that they could solve using past experience, as they had to rethink the entire structure of their workflow, and it was a real challenge for them. So Kubo asks, so in the end, people who had free time had to step in? Murata explains exactly. It was kind of like pedaling a bicycle non-stop just to keep it going. Taguchi adds that for the final episode of Cour 3, they all jumped into production together. All the supervising directors joined in as well. The questioner then asks, were there any scenes within Cour 3 that you were particularly focused on during production? Taguchi says that of course that they had poured their attention into every single scene. Taguchi says that episode 38, which featured Hashward and Bazby, was one of the core themes of Cour 3, and this episode had a lot of pressure towards it from all of the anime staff. Even when he had met Kubo at the dubbing session, Kubo had said episode 38 is the most important one in Cour 3, so he's been feeling the pressure. Even when Taguchi had met Kubo during the dubbing session for that episode, he had said that episode 38 is the most important one in Cour 3, and he has been feeling a lot of pressure for it. This is because episode 38 leads directly into episodes 39 and 40, the climax of the cour. There was a sense that everything had to be built around that moment. It ended up being the part with the most weight and was the hardest to structure. Kubo says that this makes sense. Right before the end is when you most want to put in your strongest effort. Taguchi adds that this is exactly the case, but this doesn't mean that they were only focused on episode 38 and neglected the rest of Cour 3. Taguchi says that the real mission was to maintain the quality across the entire run of Cour 3. Even if just one episode falls short, it throws off the balance of the entire season. So they had to keep the quality and energy consistent across all of Cour 3, even beyond episode 38. It wasn't just about managing the pressure around that episode, as they had to elevate the quality of every other episode to the same level as episode 38. The questioner then says that at the preview screenings for Cour 3, directors Taguchi and Murata had mentioned that Kubo has been drawing more rough storyboards. The questioner asks, did this start with Cour 3? Kubo responds that no, he was actually drawing storyboards in Cour 2, but Kubo does state that the parts that he is involved in flow seamlessly with the existing story, so there is no real clear distinction like the changes had started occurring within Cour 3 or Cour 2. Taguchi states that one storyboard that Kubo had drawn which stands out to him was the rough battle layout when the Bambis appeared. He says that when it came to the storyboards he had written, he asked Kubo to draw Ukitake's scenes in depth, including the contents of what would appear within Ukitake's dream during those anime original sequences with the young Ukitake and Mimihagi. During the interview, we also learn about how Kubo had attended every single episode's voice voice recording session. So Kubo was also asked that as the original author of Bleach and the general supervisor, he has been directly involved in the anime's production. So what has been the most fun part for him? Kubo states that he's honestly enjoyed all of it, especially the dubbing sessions, since he normally works alone on the manga and he doesn't interact with people often. Being in a place which is full of people has actually been a lot of fun for him. Maybe the anime staff had thought that he was just hanging around idly, but for Kubo, that different atmosphere was very refreshing. He states that he went to each dubbing session genuinely looking forward to being there. And you can see this clip here where the anime staff present Kubo with a cake on the completion of the dubbing for Cour 3. So the final question on the Cour 3 Blu-ray interview asks, lastly, could each of you share a message for the fans who are looking forward to Cour 4? Taguchi states that in Cour 4 they want to create something that delivers the same sense of emotional payoff as finishing the original Bleach manga, something that makes you go, yeah, this is Bleach. Starting from Cour 2 and 3, they've been gradually adding more anime original elements, so Taguchi says that he is hopefully looking forward to seeing how these anime original elements continue to evolve in Cour 4. Director Murata adds that if you've been watching Thousand Year Blood War from Cour 1 to 3, then you've probably noticed how the overall visual quality has steadily improved. Murata says that he hopes that you'll continue to enjoy seeing the improvement in the quality, and in Cour 3, for example, they added scenes where there were backgrounds that were made entirely using CG, and in Cour 4 they are planning to take on even more of those kind of creative challenges. So it's not just me, many different creators are testing new approaches behind the scenes, all in the service of delivering the best quality possible for Cour 4. They are working at the very peak of what they can do, so he hopes that everybody will be excited to see what comes next. Now, most importantly, we have the final closing comments for Kubo, as he states in Cour 4 that character will finally appear. He ends by saying he believes that their arrival will be the biggest surprise in all of Bleach. What on earth could this character be? Some people have been theorizing that this character that Kubo is teasing is in fact Tokinada Tsuneyashiro from the Can't Fear Unworld light novels. We know that he was up to some stuff behind the scenes during the Thousand Year Blood War arc, so it would be incredible to see Tokinada in Cour 4. This would then lead to the possibility of Can't Fear Unworld being animated after Cour 4 ends. So yeah, that's the end of the Thousand Year Blood War Cour 3 Blu-ray interview. You've got the signatures here of Taguchi, Kubo, and Murata. I do want to give a massive thank you to Ichigo Taicho, who has posted this interview for all of us to enjoy. I've got the link to the entirety of the interview in the description of this video. I didn't go over every single question, I just went over the ones that were the most interesting, including those final closing remarks from Kubo. So yeah, from Kubo's final comments in that interview, a lot of us are wondering what on earth is he cooking. I know that in recent times there's been quite a huge Bleach drought, which usually does happen, but hopefully now we've got a lot to look forward to as the road to Cour 4 begins with Anime Expo. Cour 4, which is titled The Calamity, will have new information revealing on the 4th of July, and you can guarantee that I'll be one of the first to cover all of the information that's dropping at Anime Expo. So if you enjoy these news and update videos and you want to be the first to know everything about Bleach, then definitely subscribe to the channel for more. Let me know all of your thoughts for what on earth Kubo is referring to when he says that a special character will be making an appearance within Cour 4. I'm of the belief that it's Tokinada. I hope that this then leads to the Can't Fear Unworld anime adaptation, or it could be something entirely different linked to the Hell arc, which Kubo is definitely working on behind the scenes. I'd love to know all of your own speculation and thoughts, so continue the discussion in the comments. Let me know all of your thoughts about this latest Cour 3 Blu-ray interview, and lastly, thank you for making it to the end of this very quick news and updates video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.